Super dope. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning. It's just before 11 a.m. I said I was going to try to get podcasts out on Wednesdays, and so here I am. Woo! However, I'm double dipping a little bit today. So I've been beating the dead horse on listening to SUPAIDAMAN. And you're going to be hearing episode 6 of SUPAIDAMAN just a little bit. It's me and Feds. It's one of the longer ones that we've done. But, coming from experience as the person who just finished editing this, I think it's the funniest one we've done. So you'll hear that in just a minute. Just a few housekeeping items for you, the general super dope listener who may not be here for SUPAIDAMAN. A couple of announcements, reminders, things like that. So some may be wondering, some may have heard, Jimmy's having a baby with Sam. And we had the gender reveal the other day, and we're having a boy. I say we because I'm very much going to be, commandeering this kid occasionally, trying to get him to name it something cool. That's not Anakin. I swear to God, if you name that kid Anakin, Jimmy, I'm going to beat the shit out of you for the rest of your life. However, I love you, and congratulations to you and Sam. Actually, Jimmy makes a couple of appearances in regards to Spider-Man 6. We do watch-alongs for each of these episodes that you can see on our Patreon page if you want to go check them out. But when me and Feds did this one, it didn't record for some reason. So me and Jimmy on the 3rd actually did the watch-along together for Spider-Man 6 to make it up. And that's a fun one to watch him react to Japanese Spider-Man. It's good. But also, he makes an appearance in the latter part of this episode, sort of, via a story about maybe a time he tried to stab me. So that's going to be fun for you, maybe. Also, a couple of announcements for Dragon Ball stuff. This coming Sunday night, July the 19th, we're doing another YouTube live stream with Anthony Gramuglia from CBR.com. We're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super Vegeta versus Dragon Ball GT Vegeta. Gtita. That what I'm calling him? Gtita? It sounded better when I wrote it out on the page. GT-Ita. Gtita. It doesn't sound as good when you say it out loud. Ugh. -1 point for Gtita. So we'll be doing that. I think we're going to aim for about 9 p.m. to start Eastern Standard. Be on the lookout for a link to that in the show notes. If you don't subscribe to us on YouTube, you should. We're trying to do that stuff more often. Additionally, manga chapters, not even chapters, not even fucking panels, sketches, fucking sketches of manga panels leaked out. I think it was the 12th this month. So a full 7-8 days before the chapter drops, a sketch of a panel comes out, and we know more or less what's going to happen. It's so fucking annoying to have everyone else's reaction to that panel, seeing it first, be my first opportunity to take in parts of the story. It's the most annoying fucking thing in the goddamn world. To no end. To no fucking end. And this month it came a week earlier than it typically does. So that's all a long way to get to. Me and Leonard are going to be doing a live stream in a couple of weeks on manga chapter, 62, 63? 60, whatever the fuck. I already had it ruined for me. So me and Leonard will do a live stream on that. I believe we're going to aim to do that around the 24th to the 25th. I'll get back to you guys with more information on that. But be sure to check in on the live stream, GT Vegeta versus Super Vegeta, which is the better character and why, with me and Anchor Mulia this coming Sunday night at 9. I think that's all the shit I have to plug. Blah, 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 blah. Looking at my notes. That's right. Notes, pens, papers. Patreon watch-alongs are there. Patreon.com/Dragon Ball Super Dope. If you haven't listened to the other Spider-Mans and you like this one, quit fucking around. Go listen to Spider-Man Sundays. And even if you don't, if you've got the minute to just hop over there and give us a review on Apple Podcasts, it's super helpful for other people to find the show and to help us grow. All right. Love you all. Hope you enjoy it. This is, even if you've never watched Japanese Spider-Man, just sit this one through. This one was funny, man. I had a good time with this one. I'll talk to y'all soon. Hope you have a good Wednesday, a good rest of your week. And I'll see you on Sunday night for the live stream with Ant. Super dope. Welcome into SUPAIDAMAN Sundays. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. I am joined today by my brother, Feds. Feds, how are you, man?
What up, Kyle? How's it going?
You know, just doing the thing, man. Again, I'm not sure how much I want to timestamp this for future us, but we are recording tonight, episode 6, on June the 19th. Happy Juneteenth, y'all. We're going to be talking about the experimental lab of horrors, Evil Professor Monster.
He's an evil motherfucker.
What I really love about the titles for the Spider-Man is that it's indicative of a pattern that you grow to see in Dragon Ball. And it's what the Dragon Ball nerds refer to as like the 2-part title. It's like Super Vegeta ascends. He's about to whoop some ass. Like it's always 2 sentences, front to back. Kind of gives you the broad definition or the broad overview of what's happening and then a little bit more detail. The experimental lab of horrors, that like piques your interest just enough. And then Evil Professor Monster, those two don't really work together that well, but I'd say that when you consider the two in tandem, they definitely pique your interest.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're going to talk about episode 6 today. If you did not check out episode 5, A, shame on you. B, you know that there is a recap coming. C, if you've made it all the way to episode 6 and you have not left us a review on Apple Podcasts, if that's where you listen to podcasts, or, if you just have an iPhone. I don't care if you use Apple Podcasts on the regular or not. If you have an iPhone, help us out. Rate, review on Apple Podcasts helps other people find the show. But that was C. I think the A, or the number 1A, I think was you should listen to episode 5. And then 2B, or just B, or 2, but 2B, if we're going with consistency and formatting. That was, you should listen to it. I forget what the process was, but here's a quick episode 5 recap. Episode 5, Thundering Machine GP7, An Oath of Brotherhood. Basically, the Iron Cross Army has gotten into dealing illegal arms, including missiles. They're out in the middle of nowhere. They got trucks transporting these missiles. A young boy happens upon their random shack in the middle of the woods where I suppose they store said missiles. Amazonas, my best girl, she don't like that. And she basically sends a box truck to run the boy over. Spider-Man don't like that either because, whenever a young boy gets run over by a box truck, Spider-Man feels like he's not doing his job properly, and he takes something like that very personally. Spider-Man, never one to miss out on an opportunity to fuck up a box truck, is out on his motorcycle one day with his girlfriend Hitomi. And when the box truck with the missiles drives by, he says, "Hey, Hitomi, beat feet, get off my motorcycle so I can go chase this thing." And he does. It's wild. The Putty Pirate Patrol busts out some assault rifles and causes his motorbike to explode. So he calls up the Spider Machine GP7 to pick him up. His car now has guns, and he's going to use his guns to chase these dudes down. Meanwhile, he finds out the boy who got run over by a box truck is now in the hospital. And although it seems like maybe he just got his leg run over by some miraculous stroke of luck, it seems that he's hemorrhaged a lot of blood and needs a blood transfusion. Takuya says, "Hey, what's up? What kind of blood type you got? I'll help you out." Miraculously, it's a match. Takuya donates his blood, but not before pausing to stop and reflect on the idea that when he got his spider extract from Garia of the planet Spider, he became Spider-Man. And he's worried that this young boy, who again was just recently run over by a box truck, will also be doomed to the fate of becoming Spider-Man. Long and the short is, Takuya gives him some blood, kid heals, doesn't become Spider-Man. He goes and blows up the place where the missile is. Spider-Man says, "Hey, what's up, little kid? I blew up that place and blew up that box truck. You're welcome." And the kid says, "That's great. We're basically brothers now because you gave me blood. Can I come and live with you?" And Spider-Man says, "No, you were going to go to the orphanage and make other orphan friends because I already have a little orphan brother at home whose dad died just a few weeks back. Don't lose, SUPAIDAMAN. Don't lose.
Don't lose.
So again, if you didn't listen to Spider-Man Episode 5, obviously there was a lot of things that I kind of had to gloss over in terms of details. Again, the box truck is a real dick in that last episode. So go check it out. He ran over some little kids. We don't like that. Episode 6 today, we get a little bit more back to the formula, but we also are introduced to an old friend of Takuya. In the character of Yasuke. So Yasuke's got a little bit of a complicated background. They do a decent enough job giving us some, or fleshing it out when we do get into the episode. I don't know, Feds. Initial impressions of this episode without revealing too much. What'd you feel?
I thought it was cool that we actually get to see someone from his past. I mean, that was... Actually, I can't go that far. So let's just let the recap do the talking.
All right, word bird.
But it was good.
It's cool to see one of your friends show up from your past until you show up and realize that it's basically the same person that you knew 15 years ago. And you're like, oh, man.
Nothing's changed.
I'm not 16 anymore. Come on. The experimental lab of horrors. Evil Professor Monster. We see 3 young men running through the woods being chased by a Jeep Wrangler of Death. On said Jeep Wrangler of Death is Professor Monster's right-hand woman / my best girl, Amazoness, and she is ordering the Putty Parrot Patrol to shoot their machine guns at these young men on the run. One of the men is shot. The other steps in an unfortunately placed bear trap. The third runs to the edge of a cliff, where he has no choice but to jump into the far below water, which happens to look exactly like the Toei film logo. So this is all before the title card, Feds. Did they just throw you right in the middle of an action scene, which I'm always a fan of, but these are not characters that I have any particular background with outside of, hot soon-to-be looking librarian Amazoness. What did you think was going on when this episode opened up?
Well, I mean, before you see Amazoness, I mean, it just looked like some guys were running away from, like, the army trying to gun them down and stuff like that. Looked like wartime, honestly.
Jeep Wrangler with assault rifles will do that to you, I feel.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that they were dashing and dining from a restaurant that Amazoness has tucked away from her business with Professor Monster. It's like her own little side hustle. Like, she's an independent business owner. And don't fucking think any less of her. If you do, you're wrong. Professor Monster is not pleased to learn that Yasuke Matsuki has escaped into the Toei logo, for he fears he will reveal the secret nature of his experiments on modified humans to make them soldiers. Junko shows up at Takuya's house looking for him. He asks her what's the matter, and she says he has come back. Yasuke. He had gone missing in a hiking accident 8 months prior. Yasuke says the Iron Cross Army is now after him, now that he is back. Takuya is led up to Yasuke's hideout. He's in the closet, and he is relieved to see his old friend. They celebrate, for they thought Yasuke was dead. Yasuke tells the story of his climbing accident and how he awoke to the Iron Cross Army, who had rescued him to use him for their experiments. He is convinced that they're the motherfuckers who cut his rope with some throwing stars. He tells Takuya of Professor Monster's plan to use modified humans and turn them into soldiers, and how he will either kill them or let them live. Yasuke himself has died 3 different times and opens up his sexy button-down shirt to reveal a plate of metal that is screwed into his solar plexus. Takuya thinks that is terrible.
Real terrible.
I guess if I'm on the run from the Iron Cross Army and Professor Monster and the Machine Bem Monster Robocular with his crazy scent abilities, I would probably go to some extremes to try to hide. I don't know if I think that hiding inside the closet of my apartment would like put me over the edge in terms of security, like Yasuke seems to have done.
Yeah, that doesn't seem secure enough for me either.
If you have like a dog sniffing Mofk coming after you, where are you hiding?
I'm gonna bury myself. Like a little
Like in the
straw.
dirt?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
dude, no, you're not gonna be able to breathe enough. That's straw ain't enough for you. You're
Yeah,
a
it
big
is.
man.
Yeah, it is.
Nope, you
Plenty.
think so? Sometimes I
It's
think about
plenty.
things like that, and no.
Nah, it's
You
plenty.
know that? You know that song?
Or maybe I'll
From,
wear a scuba mask or something.
you know that song? A snorkel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that song from Iron Maiden? It's like nightmares forever calling me. It's off Peace of Mind.
Yeah.
Nightmares. Yeah, I literally have nightmares about fucking being buried with just a straw to breathe out of. No, thank you. That's a terrible place to
Oh.
hide. Feds, the dogs would find you.
Terrible for you. Another wouldn't. The dirt would mask my scent.
No way, Jose. You want to know what? I've been watching a lot of murder documentaries lately. Don't ask why, but I will tell you that murderers have this thing where they bury dead bodies and then they fucking kill a dog and bury a dead dog over the person like a couple of feet up. So that way, if a dog comes by to sniff it out,
Yeah, but the dog's gonna smell a decaying body versus they would smell a decaying body a lot easier than a live one.
and then the cops go down and dig and they find a dead dog and they're like, "Oh, this dog just smelled a dead dog. Never mind, moving on."
Yeah, I get that, but I'm gonna be alive.
So the
Not
dogs
dead.
won't even be able to get you. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I see that you've thought this out way more than I have. I don't know where I'd hide. But you want to know what?
What?
Wherever I do hide, I'd be fucking sneaky.
Kind of the point of hiding. You be sneaky, man.
Takuya, taking in all of this info, gazes out the window to see that the Iron Cross army has tracked down Yasuke due to their use of their machine bed monster, Robocular, to sniff him out. Takuya quickly thinks to switch jackets with Yasuke to throw off his trail and tells him to head to the old fort.
The old fort.
The old fort. We see a putty patrol dude speak Japanese into a walkie-talkie, thus confirming that these putty parapatrol putzes can speak, blowing Yasuke's cover, and then the chase ensues. So maybe I'll cut out that first break, but maybe I won't, because maybe that first break was just an accident, because I want to stop and ask you, did you ever have a fort when you were a kid?
Yeah, man. So when I lived with my parents when I was really young on Academy Avenue in Bristol, we had a swing set and it had like one of those lookouts on top of it, and I used to use that as a fort all the time. It was dope.
Different kind of fort, man. So like
I think you're talking about like one in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those too.
So we had a few different things, right? Growing up real young, living in Swansea in the middle of nowhere, we had a couple of like rural, like big old rocks that were like our, meetup spot, like quote unquote base fort or whatever. And like you could build like a little fort out of there if you wanted to. We kind of tried to when we were kids. I had another one in the back of my grandfather's farm that was basically made out of like some pallets and some like, I don't know, shipping crates. When I was like 7 or 8, that was a fun one. And then when I moved to Rhode Island, Elijah, the video consultant on this show, we'll call him, Elijah had a dope tree fort, like double decker, in his backyard.
That's dope.
We all helped work on together. So I definitely had my fair share of forts. I don't think I ever approached the level of fort where I could confidently hide from an invading army. Never mind the Iron Cross army. That's once a death sentence waiting to happen, Takuya was really about to fuck up his friends, man. It sounds like Takuya was trying to get Yasuke back to the Iron Cross Army.
Oh, yeah.
This is a terrible plan. Really don't understand what was going through the boy's head when he thought about this. SUPAIDAMAN quickly disperses all of the Putty Parrot Patrol with creative uses of both a spider string and a spider net, and meets Yasuke and Junko back at the old fort. They used to play hide and seek at this fort in the woods when they were kids, so it's obviously a safe place for them to hide as adults in their early 20s. Junko tends to Yasuke's injuries, and Takuya quickly gets the location of the Iron Cross Army's base at Cape Onika. Meanwhile, Spider-Man's girlfriend Hitomi is at work when her editor, who looks basically just like Amazonas on a job interview for a librarian position, pulls out an old story from last year about a grad student named Yasuke dying in a climbing accident. Editor lady got a picture in the mail of Yasuke and encourages Hitomi to investigate, as this could be a big scoop. Hitomi goes to hang out and take pictures around Takuya while he rides his sweet-ass motorcycle, while hoping that Yasuke will show up. Amazonas and her Parrot Putty Patrol does the same and hang out right around the peripherals of the woods, watching and waiting. Takuya plays some baseball with his dumb kid brother and is made to look a fool, and Professor Monster and Amazonas are forced to reconcile with the idea that Takuya might not be the key to finding Yasuke, and that he's just some idiot friend. You ever had somebody like taking a close look at you and then you're like, oh, dude, my dumb friends are about to make me look terrible? Like, I've definitely had my fair share of idiot friends.
I've had some idiot friends, but not like... I was never really embarrassed of them because they embarrassed themselves, so...
You and I have been friends long enough for you to definitely have an idiot friend story about me. You got one to trot out? Exactly. Take the moment to realize that you're coming up short right now and fucking remember that history that you think you've got.
Because we're usually drunk when shit happens.
No, I'm usually drunk when shit happens and you're usually driving. Go Feds.
Oh my God.
All right, fine. I won't make you tell an embarrassing story about how much of an idiot friend I can be. I will spare you the embarrassment of telling a terribly embarrassing story about me. However, this baseball scene in this little sequence.
Oh, man. Fantastic.
When we started exchanging and like brainstorming on the episode today and text earlier, you were like, man, that baseball scene got me.
It did.
And it's such a quick scene. I don't even know if it registered with me when I first watched the episode. Like, Takuya is riding around on his motorbike. Amazonas is getting real impatient that Yasuke hasn't shown up yet. And he's like, I see that bitch waiting in the woods. I'm going to play some baseball. Really test her patience. I'm going to make her watch my 7-year-old brother strike me out in slow-mo, not once, not twice, but thrice.
3 times. The sombrero, man.
Yeah, he got the golden sombrero. And then get bonked on the head by like a pot fly and get tagged out at second base by my dumb little brother who was just pitching 10 seconds ago.
You get beamed in the head as the catcher, too.
Yeah, Jesus. Takuya.
You just suck at baseball, man.
Yeah, we all know you were a really accomplished motocross rider or whatever the fuck they called that in 1978.
Stick to that.
Just do that. I get that you got a little brother to try to placate to because he's a little orphan and his dad died a few weeks ago and you're trying to do the right thing. But listen, bro, I'd rather you just not play baseball as opposed to you trying to do the right thing because that's how embarrassing your baseball game is. Jesus.
The whole pop fly thing reminded me of like that Jose Canseco play. You ever seen that?
What drives me nuts? No, I don't think I have. Go ahead.
All right, so what happened? It's a pop fly. Jose Canseco's playing right field, and he goes to catch the ball. He loses it in the light, and it hits him on the top of the head and goes over the fence for a home run. And it's like one of the funniest bloopers ever, dude. Great.
Yeah, couldn't happen to a nicer
Oh yeah,
guy.
dude, he's a fucking peach. That guy.
Spider-Man would be like a really good middle infielder, I feel. Like he's
Why a
prime
middle
time.
infielder?
Dude, a fucking hot shot right up the middle at second or fucking shortstop. He's got the reflexes to be able to do it. He got the spider sense. Or if we're going by Supaidaman Takuya Yamashiro rules, he's got like psychic intuition as to which
Oh
way the
yeah.
ball's going to break. I
Huh.
want him in middle infield for sure.
Hey,
Or if I can't have him there, center field for like those 400 plus yard drives that are just clearing away, flying out.
yeah, he can fucking.
Spider
Yeah,
Stream.
yeah, exactly. His range is unlimited. So
Bring that bitch in. He would be MVP, Japanese Superhero Baseball League, 1978 through, I don't know, Takuya Yamashiro is 22, 23 years old in this. I'll guess that he would be a solid MVP candidate through his 23, 24 year age season through probably his 29, 30 year age season. So between 1978 and 1984, Takuya Yamashiro as Supaidaman, with also the benefit of Leopardon, would be my baseball MVP pick every single time for the All-Star game.
he just transforms into Leopardon every time he comes up to bat. It's a home run every time.
Or like if there's one where he can't catch that, crazy high home run, he just Marvela, change Leopardon. And then Leopardon pops up and just knocks the bitch back down to the field and he catches it off the ricochet of Leopardon's chest. Like that's what I'm trying to see.
That's all I'm trying to say.
We definitely did a superhero baseball draft in one of our early Dragon Ball Super Dope episodes. If you don't listen to Dragon Ball Super Dope and you've somehow stumbled onto this, welcome. But also, go check out Dragon Ball Super Dope. It's not just Dragon Ball most of the time. We definitely did like a superhero baseball draft though. Was it with you? I don't think it was.
No, I wasn't there.
Damn, dude. We did like I think the rule was all Marvel. I think that was like the rule, but we needed to fill out an entire baseball roster. I think the rule was we needed to fill out an entire baseball roster. I think we even did starting pitchers. I can't remember who I did it with. Maybe Sleeper? I don't know. Be on the lookout for it. If you don't listen to Super Dope, you should. Back at it. Back at the old fort, Yasuke is having nightmares and has a fever. Junko says she's got to get him help. But he won't leave, because Takuya said, don't leave. They show their lockets to each other. They are circle-shaped lockets. Within the lockets is a picture of the two of them together. Junko says she had dreams of Yasuke popping back into her life, and Yasuke admits that because of her, he was able to survive. So, just a quick pause. Spider-Man. What was the impression you initially had of these two when you watched this?
I thought they were lovers at first because, they both had the lockets with the same exact picture in it, and yeah, that's something that. Go ahead.
But once I pointed it out to you,
yeah, that one made a little bit more sense too. That they might be brother and sister.
You noticed that they haven't said anything about love or being lovers,
no embracing or anything like that. Yeah,
nothing. They leave it real ambiguous. Well played, J-Pan. Well played. I wouldn't want to date a girl named Junko either. I'd be much more inclined to let somebody believe she was just my sister. The next morning, Takuya is grabbing breakfast, and his sister suggests he bring some food to his friends at the old fort. Takuya says it's fine, and that the two of them are probably all they need together out there, thus implying that they're probably boning and not related. Meanwhile, it's not fine, as Yasuke's fever worsens. Junko decides to try to make a run for it, to try to find a doctor for help. But the PPP fall out the tree, literally. And Amazonas is there to pressure Junko into revealing Yasuke's location. She claims not to know, but Amazonas counts to 5 to give her time to reveal his location. Just then, Yasuke emerges to bargain for her life. Amazonas insists it will be the both of them. But then Amazonas says she will let her live on one condition. Just then, Takuyu's powers activate, and he knows he's needed. He transforms into
Spider-Man.
and calls up the Spider Machine GP7 and is spider stringing his way to help immediately. Once he shows up, though, Yasuke attempts to knife Spider-Man in the goddamn back of the throat. It fails when Spidey dodges. Yasuke apologizes and says it was the only way. He is promptly shot by a PPP up in the tree, and Spidey does not like that. The spider strings his ass back down to earth, and a scuffle ensues. You ever had a friend try to stab you?
Can't say that I have, no.
No, not even one time?
Not even once. No.
You've never been in a fight with a fucking friend so intense that they tried to stab you?
No.
All right, all right, new question then. If you had to pick one friend, if you were to be in a fight so intensely with that they probably would stab you, who would it be?
Brian M.
Good call. And super dope listeners, if you don't know who Brian M is, you are definitely not a super dope fan because he's been on a couple of weirdo random episodes. But you think he'd be the guy to stab you, huh?
He loses his temper very quickly when he's drunk.
He gets
sometimes
like he yells. I've never seen him get physical, I don't think, when he's drunk.
Yeah. He just says stupid shit.
And then what happens?
And then someone else gets physical, and then that in turn makes him physical. So, yeah.
I was going to say somebody then grabs him by the throat and puts him down on the kitchen floor.
That sounds like something you would do.
So that kind of leads me to what I was going to say. I would have bet money, 2 minutes ago, that if you had to pick one of your friends who is most likely to stab you in the middle of a fight, I would have thought you would have just gone me, just out of like laziness in terms of the pick, because I'm a little bit crazy.
I mean, you are, but you can just whoop my ass anyways. You don't need no weapons.
Yeah, good point. Also, I don't want to stab nobody. That shit makes a mess. You ever try to get blood out your floor?
No, can't say that I have.
Let me encourage you to never have to experience it yourself.
I've seen Breaking Bad, bro. I know how it goes.
Oh, what is Breaking Bad?
Some show.
Oh, I was talking from definitely not my real life. Getting back to it.
Has anyone ever tried to stab you?
Of course somebody's tried to stab me, dude. I'm friends with Jimmy. Yeah, again, if you don't listen to Dragon Ball Super Dope and you don't know who Jimmy is, I realize that, this means not much to you, but if you want, better point of reference as to who he is, yeah, when we were kids, trying to think of, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you the super Cliff Notes version of it. So Jimmy it was the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade for me. I was going into high school. Carlton had already been in high school for a year, and Jimmy was going from the 7th to the 8th grade. So me and Carlton were hanging out at the pool one day at his house. Jimmy came home from school shopping with some brand new clothes on him, and Carlton was a dickhead and pushed him into the pool with all of his new clothes on. And Jimmy, as a 12, 13-year-old boy, had quite the temper. I definitely whooped his ass several times, but this was one of the times where I did not think the ass whooping was mine to give. So what ended up happening was he locked us out of the house because we were, again, out in the pool. And me and Carlton eventually had to break in through one of the windows of the house.
Mm-hmm.
We were downstairs trying to make our way upstairs. And, Carlton basically was just like, I'm not fucking trying to go up there. You're cool with him, Kyle. Go up there and try to talk him down. I'm like, all right, word. Yeah, I got you. And I took 2 steps. It's a raised ranch, so it's the basement, 5 or 6 steps up, a landing, and then 5 or 6 steps up to the second, or some people would say first level, whatever. I take 2 steps up that first strip of stairs, and immediately a butcher knife just goes flying by my fucking face. Not one, but 2 big, large butcher knives just go, and they bounced off of a coat rack into the corner of where the landing was. And then Jimmy sprinted out of the hall and he locked himself in the bathroom for the next 3 hours while I watched Return of the Jedi in the living room for 3 hours waiting for him to come out. He thought I was Carlton. He wasn't trying to knife me specifically, but almost threw knives at me accidentally as I was trying to calm him down. So
That's interesting.
yeah, again, I say to you, feds, you don't have any friends who are willing to throw knives at your face?
Nah, man.
I mean, I'm kind of cheating on this experience, granted, because I basically intercepted an experience between two brothers who, you know, people that call my brothers for sure, but I don't share no blood with Jimmy and Carlton.
Nah.
That knife was meant from blood brother Jimmy to blood brother Carlton, not to me, the fucking neighbor kid from up the street who was just trying to defuse the situation. But regardless, you know, if Yasuke tried to knife me and I was Spider-Man,
I'd just whoop his ass.
I would. Or I'd say, why don't you go lock yourself in the bathroom and watch Return of the Jedi for 3 hours, you fucking dick. Spidey promptly whoops all of the ass, and Amazonas retreats. Yasuke seems to be mortally wounded, and he tries to ask,
Spider-Man.
with his dying breath, if he is indeed Ta. Yasuke passes out, and Spider-Man vows to destroy the evil experimental lab as he leaves his friend's dead body and his mourning girlfriend in the middle of the woods. Spider-Man, with some trickery and some jumps, infiltrates the laboratory, and he yells his best catchphrase, "I am the emissary from hell, Spider-Man," and promptly commandeers a machine gun to shoot/scare off all of the science nerds with.
And blows up the fucking lab in the process.
Spider-Man escapes to find a giant Robocular. Robocular is the machine gun monster from before who sniffed out Takuya, in case you've forgotten all the time we spent talking.
Yep.
So I said it to you while we were watching it. If you want to check out the live watch alongs, although I'm not sure if this one recorded, I think it did. Maybe it did. If you want to check out the live watch alongs and the riff tracks, go check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/Dragon Ball. Super dope. But I said it while we were watching it. This is through the first 6 episodes, like the best 2 minutes of a film and a stretch where he jumps in to this secret scientist lab by crawling up a couple buildings, jumping over a couple gaps in the building's roofs, gets in there, yells his catchphrase, "I'm the emissary from hell," strikes a pose, roughs up some putty Parrot Patrol fucks who are in lab coats, by the way. So, like, you know that they're probably not the toughest among the putty Parrot Patrol.
Nah.
And you cut away to see these putty Parrot Patrol motherfuckers with, like, beakers and doing science things or whatever. They're like, they got their barometric, they got their stuff out. And and Spider-Man, when you cut back to him, he just says, no more science today. In the name of science, I say nay. And he Tommy guns. Where'd he get the Tommy gun? Where'd he get the machine gun? He machine guns all of these putty Parrot Patrol dudes who we soon learned thereafter that they all ducked and dodged. But just that visual of Spider-Man saying, "I am the emissary from hell," basically saying with his actions, "Fuck all of you nerds,"
You gonna
and
die.
then taking a machine gun to try to shoot them to death is probably the greatest 90 seconds of this show to this point.
Oh,
Fudge,
yeah.
your thoughts?
No, I agree with you on that, man. I mean, it kind of encompasses, like, everything that this particular version of Spider-Man is trying to be. He's the emissary from hell. He's here to fucking get his revenge for Planet Spider. So,
Good point in terms of the revenge, because earlier in the episode when Professor Monster is trying to track Takuya and like try to figure out where Yasuke is going to show up, he's like, "Man, this dude's just some idiot. He don't want no revenge. Who gives a shit?" But no, Spider-Man wants revenge, and he's got Tommy guns about it. Spider-Man escapes to find a giant-sized Robocular. That's the last thing I read, in case you needed a point of reference where we were in the story. SUPAIDAMAN, overcome by the big old machine bed monster now presented before him, who didn't even give him the opportunity to watch him transform giant size, calls upon the Marveler.
Marveler!
He then prompts the Marveler to change into Leopardo.
Marveler! Change Leopardo!
Dracula tries some shit, but he is no match for the Leopardon strings / arc turn combo.
Arc
The next step to the progression is called
Leopardo! Sword Bika!
and it equates to an automatic win.
Without fail.
Professor Monster is not impressed despite his loss and says the Iron Cross army is invincible. Spider-Man isn't done, however. He flies the Marveler at full speed toward, I assume, the direction of Professor Monster while delivering the message, "I'm gonna fuck you up without fail." Pause. I just want to say the formula through the first 5 episodes has been the monster explodes, he drives his car into the sunset, the end. This is a nice change of pace for me personally.
No, I
Because
agree.
you know me. I'm always like really apt to tell somebody to go fuck themselves and I'm gonna, kick their buttholes wide open and things like that. To see Spider-Man blow up this Robocular and then be like, I'm not driving away in the Spider Machine GP7 yet. I'm going to go deliver some threats.
Yeah.
And he lets him know, I'm going to fuck you up without fail. Like, powerful. It's only like a 5-second shot.
Mm-hmm.
But man, are those 5 seconds, you can feel the anger of whoever that dude is in the Spider-Man suit and the genuine malice in his heart that actor has toward Professor Monster, Amazonas, and the Iron Cross Army.
Yeah, man, I would feel that way too if they just killed my friend that I thought was dead and came back to life.
I'm just talking about the actor. Man. Fuck the context of the backstory. That actor did a great job selling it.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that too.
I don't know who that actor was. I hope he's still working. If he's not, it better be because he's dead or too old, and not because y'all blacklisted him for being too good at his job.
Yeah.
Takuya accompanies Junko back to the cliffs to throw her locket and flowers into the ocean / Toei logo in Yasuke's memory. For he was a man who loved nature. But now, what do we have to fear, given Professor Monster's experiments on humans, to make them into an army of soldiers? Don't lose, Spider-Man. Don't lose.
Can I just point out in the notes it says don't fuck losing?
Don't lose, Spider-Man. Don't fuck losing. Oh man, that one just made it into the I think the public edit. Yeah, I do write some script things out. I'm not just this good off the top of my head with words on narration of these ridiculous episodes. I do write this out, and I do have, some shorthand that I use in specific parts of the scripts, but don't lose Spider-Man is basically like the point where you're like, all right, good, we're done with the recap, but I tried to spice it up with a don't fucking lose, but I just put don't fuck losing. Don't fuck losers. So
Don't do that either.
What did we learn today, Feds?
We learned that sometimes when you think your friend's dead, they might not be. They might just be disappeared for a little bit.
On the contrary, they might come back even better. Like they might
could
come back with a cool metal plate in their chest.
Yeah, some enhancements.
Yeah, like I was thinking it would be a great way to introduce Spider-Man's first amazing friend. Like, we're not gonna get no Bobby Drake or Firestar, Angelica Jones in this bitch, but like, give me Yasuke Matsuki, the dude who was experimented on by Professor Monster and now got a metal plate in his chest,
man.
and like,
let's call him Iron Chest for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, we call him Iron Chest, and like once an episode, he pops in to just take a bullet to his iron chest to save Supaidaman.
Yeah.
And then that's it. He's gone.
Perfect.
He's off screen. He's not useful beside that. Like, they missed a great opportunity on bringing back their dead friend from the dead. I don't know what the heck y'all thinking about Toei in 1978. Obviously, you should probably have hired me and Feds here in the year 2020. I'd also like to point out, you can always go back to the old fort and nobody will find you, ever. You can just go back there and hide there and be safe, even if you're hiding from an evil intergalactic army like the Iron Cross army. Fuck, man. If you were hiding from the regular army, you'd be so safe. But like now that it's intergalactic level stuff, you're like escalating the risk level a bit. It's not as safe, but it's still pretty safe, bro. It's the old fort.
Yeah, man.
You could always go back there and no one will find you. Until your loud ass girlfriend runs out to try to find a doctor for you. Then that intergalactic space army will find you and they will kill your ass.
Yeah, man.
But not before they try to convince you to kill Spider-Man first. They'll kill you after that with a sniper in the tree. So if you really want to get down to brass tacks, what we learned today was, even when you think your skills are being utilized for the greater cause, whether that greater cause be killing Spider-Man or killing the Iron Cross army, bro, you're just a cog. All right? You're not really great in the... You're not really much in the grand scheme of things. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You need to realize this is just your role. And that this too shall pass. And that, you know what? Tomorrow, you're going to wake up. You're going to change your button-down shirt. And you're going to look at your fucking little metal plate in your solar plexus. And you're going to say...
Yeah, man.
I'm going to go catch a bullet for SUPAIDAMAN today.
And protect my friend.
'Cause that's my role. I know my role. I'm not the hero, but you know what? Maybe I'm a healer. Maybe I'm a tank. Maybe I'm a support character. I don't know what this euphemism just gone to, but you know what? I'm going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for listening to SUPAIDAMAN Sundays.
Thank you.
Make sure you check it out, or make sure you rate and subscribe. Apple Podcasts helps other people find the show. Spotify, wherever you listen. If you have other friends who are into Spider-Man, Marvel, random Japanese stuff, Power Rangers, corny nonsense, let them know about the show. That's the best way in order for us to grow the show, is to let your friends know about it. So we appreciate you guys. And you can check out our main podcast, Dragon Ball Super Dope. We put out an episode usually once, twice a week. Talks about Dragon Ball, but also other nerdy nonsense as well. And you can see our watch-alongs to these Spider-Man episodes and a bunch of other uncut Super Dope stuff at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Dragon Ball Super Dope. We super appreciate you checking this out, and we will catch you again next time for SUPAIDAMAN.
Spider-Man.